Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regular meeting of council for Tuesday, June 23rd at 5 p.m. It's to be held and transmitted electronically via the council chambers here, which are located at 39 South Shore Road. Before we start with the agenda, I'd just like to make a few comments, if I may, with your indulgence. First of all, I want to give a large shout out to the organizing committee and the volunteers for Lake Days. Made such a successful event for the weekend. Thank you to all involved. Thank you to Councillor Sandhu especially for being on that committee. Appreciate your input there. And to everyone who helped at the steak dinner, that was a great success. It was 282 of a possible 300 tickets were returned. So 8 no-shows, a couple of complaints, but that's fine. We dealt with them as we went. Also, we're coming up on to 1 year since Mr. Thomas has joined us. And I want to thank my fellow councillors for not scaring him away in 1 year. And I look forward to many more, John. Thank you. And to all our staff, Public Works and councils, be proud of what we've accomplished in the last year. I think we've come a long way in a short time, and we've got further to go. And I hope some of us or all of us might be here to see the fruitions of some of our decisions and past council's decisions. So with that, I'd also like to say congratulations to the outgoing royalty ambassadors who represented us in 2025. And good luck to the incoming ambassadors who were crowned Lake Days weekend. Also like to acknowledge that we are conducting our business on the ancestral territory of the Subasset people with thanks. Any introduction of late items? None from you under new business, Councillor Austin?
July 1st event.
Under D, Councillor
Sure.
Austin, July 1st event. Thank you. Any others? With that amendment, would someone like to move the agenda? Moved by Councillor Frisbee, seconded by Councillor Sandhu. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And again, we'll go to public input, and that's for anything on the agenda. If you wish to speak to anything, I see nods of no. So we'll move on. We have the adoption of the minutes from the May 26th, 2026 regular council meeting. Any errors or omissions that anyone saw? Moved by Councillor Sandhu, seconded by Councillor Austin. All in favor? Opposed, if any? And there's some minutes from the May 21st APC meeting. Someone like to move those? Moved by Councillor Sandhu, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. Any discussion on those or questions? Just wait for the door. I think there's someone trying to get in. So I'll call the question. All in favor of the APC minutes? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. And then we have the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of June 9th, 2026. I'll wait till we do the actionable items, and I'll turn to Councillor Frisbee to read those out, if you would.
Yeah, I'd like to move the following minutes from the Committee of the Whole meeting for June 9th. We move correspondences received and filed from the AVICC strategic priorities for 2026 and to 2030, and the AGES local government communique for the FIFA World Cup. UBCM meeting requests. The Council identified the following advocacy priorities for the 2026 UBCM Convention: Ministry of Health, Ministry of Infrastructure and Housing, and Ministry of Education. and directed staff to submit meeting requests with the Premier and applicable provincial ministers prior to the June 24th, 2026 deadline. The Council identified the following advocacy priorities for the UBCM 2026 Convention: healthcare, infrastructure, housing, AB Greenwell, and education. And we also directed staff to submit those meeting requests. We received and accepted the building permit summary for May. Fire Department incident report, that the staff report be received, and that Council approves the Lake Cowichan Fire Department incident report in the amount of $10,117.70 for April 2026. We did the same for May in the amount of $12,347.80. Sanitary sewer modelling. The Council authorises the completion of a comprehensive sanitary sewer modelling project. The Council directs staff to prepare and bring forward an amendment to the 2026-2030 financial plan to include the sanitary sewer modelling project as a priority capital initiative in 2026 in the amount of $125,000, and that the project be funded by the Community Works Fund Reserve, and the Council authorises staff to award a contract up to $125,000 for the project. Seasonal parking, that Council defer consideration of the parking management pilot project, and that staff be directed to undertake additional parking consultation, refine the implementation plan, and report back to Council with advised recommendations and financial projections with input sought from the APC. And with that, I'd like to move those minutes.
Do I have a seconder for those? Seconded by Councillor Austin. Any questions or comments on those? All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Thank you for that, Councillor Frisbee. We have correspondence items. Any of those that you wish to action? Okay, we'll move those as consent items. Moved by Councillor Austin, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. And you just read out the Committee of the Whole for those reports, Councillor Frisbee. So I'll move to Councillor Sandu under reports of Committee and Council for the Cowichan Lake Recreation Commission. Yourself or Councillor Frisbee, or you can piggyback.
Well, you went to the last meeting.
I did not attend the last meeting. I guess we had no representative at the
We'll
last
await
meeting.
the minutes.
Our next meeting is July.
Perfect. And Councillor Bumaka is unable to give us the Vancouver Island Regional Library report. So I'll turn again to Councillor Sandu for the Advisory Planning Commission.
Our next meeting is in September.
Thank you for that. Myself, under the Community Forest Co-op, I have very little to report, just that Chair Mr. Sheffer is currently in hospital, awaiting a surgical procedure, so I wish him well and a speedy recovery. Cowichan Valley Regional District. The meeting is tomorrow for the board. We have transitioned away from 2 meetings of the board monthly to 1 meeting of Committee of the Whole, and then alternating to the board. So tomorrow is the board meeting. It's a full agenda. It will be entertaining if you wish to watch. Tiny homes are on the agenda for tomorrow. Unfortunately, people seem to think that tiny homes are under the jurisdiction of municipal and regional governments. When they don't fit the building code, it's difficult for us to implement them within our building purview. You'll note that there is a resolution coming forward to UBCM on tiny homes to try to encourage the province to amend those. We brought a similar resolution forward previous UBCM conference, and the response from the province was per usual. They don't meet CSA standards, access and egress. But when we look at the housing crisis we are in, I think we have to look at the whole continuum of housing options, for people who are less able to afford accommodation in the familiar way. So with that, have a look and we'll go from there. Councillor Austin, Community Outreach Team.
Thank you. I did send this to everyone, but I will read it out. It is from the Director, Jocelyn Lundberg. As only one member was able to attend today's meeting, we did not have sufficient attendance to hold a meeting, therefore no minutes will be distributed. That was last Thursday. As we head into summer, I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for their participation, collaboration, and commitment throughout the year. Our group serves as a forum for community service providers to come together, share information about programs and initiatives, identify emerging community needs and service gaps, and work collaboratively towards solutions. Through ongoing communication and partnership, we help strengthen the supports available to individuals and families in our community. While our regular meetings will pause for the summer, our work together does not. If opportunities arise to work together, share resources, seek input, or problem solve around community needs over the summer months, please don't hesitate to reach out to one another. Our next meeting will be held September 17th at 9:30, and I hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable summer, and that was again from Jocelyn Lundberg, the Director.
Thank you for that. And thank you for attending the Community Outreach Team. I'll stay with you for our Cowichan if you have anything.
The next meeting is July 9th.
Thank you. Turning to Councillor Sandu for the Cowichan Watershed Board, please.
Our next meeting is this coming Monday, June 29th, and we are on a field trip at Wildwood Eco Forest,
In,
Ladysmith, British Columbia.
thank you for that. I'll turn to both Councillor Frisbee and Councillor Austin on the Otaki twinning. Just any update on that if you have it.
I do. Thank you. June 12th, they had a very successful bake sale at LCS. June 28th is the golf tournament at March Meadows, 1 to 6:30 p.m. July 4th is the next bottle drive, and July 18th is a hot dog sale at Country Grocer. They're working really hard to garner money for their trip in July of next year.
Thank you for that. Under other reports, I'm just looking across the room and I see Mr. Dalton Smith joining us. And for those that don't know, this will be Mr. Smith's last council meeting prior to his announced retirement. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you for the many years of service at the CLEC, at Lakeview Park, at the Information Center, and for all your input to some decisions that council made and did not make. We appreciate everything that you have done for the corporation, and you have left us in a dire strait to fill the shoes that you have worn for many years at that facility. So thank you very much.
And remember that you stepped into Public Works for a short time, just to run the crew.
He says he was pushed in, but he was voluntold. So thank you, Dalton. We appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you. And I have strayed from the agenda, so I'll be chastised accordingly. Actually, it's my agenda, isn't it? Yeah. I am the mayor, apparently. So we will turn to staff reports, corporate services. We have a policy, election official remuneration. I believe Miss Roach will be taking that. She's coming to the podium.
So the purpose of this report is to present a policy for the election official remuneration that will establish remuneration rates for election workers appointed to administer the local government municipal elections on October 17th. And Schedule A shows the proposed 2026 pay rates versus the 2022 pay rates that were established 4 years ago. We are looking for council to approve as presented.
Any questions on the report? Would someone like to move those recommendations? Moved by Councillor Sandu, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. All in favor? Opposed, if any?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And under finance, here's the opportunity to look at the statement of financial information. Ms. Gill, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor McGonigal. Every year, under the Financial Information Act, local governments must prepare an annual statement of financial information, and they must be available to the public by June 30th every year. So the audited financial statements, the tax rate bylaw, the financial plan, and the 2025 LDGE form were submitted to the ministry as required by May 15th. And the following are required to be submitted by June 30th, and they are here for council approval. So we've attached the schedule of debts, a schedule of guarantee and indemnity agreements, a schedule of council, elected official, and staff remuneration and expenses, a schedule of severance agreements, a schedule of suppliers of goods and services over $25,000, and a statement of financial information approval, and a management letter and checklist. So those are here before council for approval.
Any questions on the statement of financial information? There is a recommendation there that council approve the 2025 statement of financial information as presented. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Sandu, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. And again, I'll ask any questions or comments. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Moving on. Get back to bylaws. Election bylaw number 1133. Is that you, Mr. Thomas, or?
Sure. This is to receive adoption for the bylaw for the municipal election and assent voting, bylaw number 1133, 2026. It has gone through first, second, and third reading previously, and once it's adopted, it will become law for the municipality, and we will proceed with conducting the elections in accordance with the bylaw.
Okay, it's up for adoption. Moved by Councillor Frisbee, seconded by Councillor Austin. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Under new business, I had asked that this be added prior to our UBCM meeting with possibly the Minister of Education. I thought it was appropriate that we reach out to School District 79 and explain our intent of the request that Lake Cowichan be placed as the #1 capital priority for a new primary school within the confines of the municipality. As you will recall, we were at #1 in the capital project list for many, many years for replacement when AB Greenwell was closed down, when Yount was closed down, and Honeymoon Bay, etc. Unfortunately, Cowichan High School replaced us as the #1 capital project. And I think it's important that we reinitiate the need for a primary school as excess students reside within Paulson currently, within 5 or 6 portables. We see it all the time in the city of Surrey, complaining about portables and the need for infrastructure, school infrastructure to accommodate those students. And I think we should be considered as well and placed #1 on the capital project list. I did give heads up to the chair of the School District 79 that this would be coming to them, and this will be a topic for discussion should we get that meeting with the Ministry of Education. So I will move that that letter be sent. If there was a seconder, I'd appreciate that. Seconded by Councillor Austin. Any questions or comments? I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Thank you for your support on that. And next, again, this is one that I brought forward. You'll notice I have a pin on my right lapel. These were provided at the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities by a councillor from Burlington, Ontario, who asked that elected officials sign a pledge called Elect Respect. And it was provided to everyone who had attended. I brought some back for the councillors who couldn't make AVICC and for our CAO, et cetera. And I think at this time it's more important than ever, given the vitriol content of social media, that we take that seriously. If we don't have respect within the elected body, how can we expect our citizens to show respect as well? So I would hope that you will let me read this and see if you were okay with us endorsing this. That the town of Lake Cowichan supports the Elect Respect Pledge and commits to treat others with respect in all spaces, public, private, and online, reject and call out harassment, abuse, and personal attacks, focus debate on ideas and policies, not personal attacks, help build a supportive culture where people of all backgrounds feel safe to run for and hold office, call on relevant authorities to ensure the protection of elected officials who face abuse or threats, and model integrity and respect by holding one another to the highest standards of conduct. And that the town of Lake Cowichan calls on elected officials, organizations, and community members to support the Elect Respect campaign and sign the online pledge at electrespect.ca. And that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities, Union of BC Municipalities, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. So I will move that, and if there's a seconder, seconded by Councillor Sandhu. And within that presentation, it was noted that there are a number of current elected officials in municipal government and regional governments that have decided not to run again for the vitriol content that is shown within the social media purview. And that's unfortunate that we're going to lose good people who feel the need to step away because of online harassment. And I have said it time and time again that I will do all I can to support and defend the integrity of not only my female counselors, but staff as well. If you've been following along in the regional district, you will see some of the vitriol hatred, people outside with pitchforks, etc. That is uncalled for. So with that, I'm going to call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion carries. I thank you. Under water restrictions, we are currently on stage 2, and I know other communities up and down the coast of Vancouver Island have gone to stage 3. I did send a email to environmental services within the regional district asking when or if we would be going on stage 3 in Lake Cowichan. The response I got that was a number of water providers are currently on stage 3 within the regional district, but they are mostly within aquifer wells. And the reasoning behind Lake Cowichan not in stage 3 was explained that the minute amount that we utilize for our water services would not help with the storage of the lake in any aspect relative to what is currently available. But with that, I believe there is talk of going to stage 3 in the very near future. Councillor Austin.
Yes, I asked to have this on the agenda because I really think it is important that we go to stage 3, even though it may not be a huge saving in the lake. It will encourage people to conserve more. There's still people washing driveways and washing cars and doing things. My lawns are brown already. I water by hand. I always have, well, for the last many years I have. I don't use sprinklers anymore, and because with sprinklers, it's quite a lot of condensation. It's not really helping. So I really do think we don't have to go along with the CVRD. If we want to go to stage 3, I think we should. And I think there'll be other people in the community that will agree with that.
Thank you for that. I think there is an update. Did you wish to give the update, Mr. Thomas?
The update is, I believe, a number of municipalities are planning on going forward with stage 3 on July 1st, but if council wish to put forward a motion, we will certainly advance that timeline.
Councillor Austin?
Well, I could make the motion that we do it July 1st. That would be fine. We would anyway, so
But if you want it recorded, you can most certainly do
did
that.
you want it to go sooner? I mean,
It's
it's only
totally up to you.
a couple of days. It's not really worth it.
Question, Councillor Sandu?
Well, I just want to go through the Public Works Superintendent. I know you have your Monday meetings, and I'm just curious, as of yesterday, was there any discussion on this?
Not in that meeting, there was no discussion. And so we work with North Couch and Duncan, CVRD and all this stuff. And so Ladysmith just went to stage 3 because they pull out of a different lake and their levels are dropping. So, and North Couch, and I believe just went to stage 2 today. So everybody's all over the place. And I haven't heard, like we have an email chain, and I don't know if that's going to be July 1st when they're going to go to stage 3 yet. It's not decided. But it's up to you guys. Yeah.
Councillor Austin?
Well, then I'd like to make the motion that we go to stage 3 as of July 1st.
Do I have a seconder? I'll second that for discussion. Follow-up? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Councillor Sandu, Councillor Frisbee opposed. That motion fails. We will await further instructions. Again, a 2-2 tie. The motion fails. Moving forward, but thank you for bringing that forward, Councillor Austin. Under the mayor's report, I'm sorry, I forgot July 1st event. I'll turn to you now.
Sorry. I just want to remind everybody that our July 1st event is obviously on July 1st at Central Park, also known as Carpenter or Carpentier Park, whichever pronunciation you use, from 11 till 3. We have lots of stuff going on, bouncy castle, on-stage entertainment. There's quite a lot of entertainment this year. We have a really good coordinator. We collaborate with Country Grocer and the Cowichan Lake Arts and Cultural Society. Lots of good food, hamburgers, hot dogs, baked potatoes, beverages. I have the ice cream vendor this year as well. And we're hoping for good weather, so we'd like everybody to come to that if they would like to. It'll be a good experience. Lots of fun for the kids.
Thank you for that. I hope to see everyone there Wednesday. Rain or shine? 4 o'clock? And when does it end? 4 o'clock. Under the mayor's report, I have a couple of things. First of all, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities was held in Edmonton. I attended the first part of June, and it marked the 125th anniversary of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. There was 2,800 elected officials from across Canada and the territories who joined us for many sessions on learning, networking, and showing the need for a increase in funding for smaller communities. The focus theme was building the future together. Some of the topics were housing affordability and supply, municipal infrastructure investment, community safety, support for rural, northern, and indigenous communities, and innovation and capacity, and that was through workshops, panels, and study tours. There were a number of federal ministers and political leaders at the convention who spoke. Dominic LeBlanc, Gregor Robertson, who I happen to have a personal chat with, and a picture outside, telling him that we would be in touch on an announcement he made for infrastructure improvements for housing, transit, etc. So I look forward to sending a letter in that respect in the near future. Scott Atchison was there. Elizabeth May, who was always a really good speaker. Whether you agree with her or not, she is a very good speaker. And the new leader of the NDP, Avi Lewis, was there. The main subject was delivery of housing, infrastructure, and the economic growth, and the restrictions of municipalities to provide the infrastructure for the housing needs of communities, especially mandated by senior levels of government. So it was talk about intergovernment partnerships as essential to meeting the community need. And the networking was probably one of my favorite aspects of the conference. No matter the size of the community, whether it was Montreal or Ottawa or Tuktoyaktuk, everybody has the same problems to some degree. Housing, homelessness, street disorder. And it was very evident, regardless of the size of your community, those struggles are real. So I did enjoy that. And now for the major part of my mayor's report. You thought this was going to be a small, short meeting, didn't you? It's only 14 pages. Over the past few months, Council has continued to focus on issues that matter most to our residents. Did you notice that pause? Responsible financial management, infrastructure renewal, public safety, housing, economic development, and protecting the quality of life that makes Lake Cowichan such a desirable place to live. As communities across British Columbia continue to face rising costs, increasing service demands, and infrastructure pressures, municipalities are being asked to do more with limited resources. Despite these challenges, Council remains committed to ensuring that taxpayer dollars are spent responsibly while continuing to invest in the services and infrastructure our residents rely on every day. A huge thank you to everyone involved in making this year's Lake Days celebration a success. Your efforts did not go unnoticed. And with the arrival of summer brings both opportunities and challenges for Lake Cowichan. Our community welcomes thousands of visitors who contribute significantly to the local economy and support our business. At the same time, increased visitation places additional demands on municipal services, public safety, resources, parks, waterfront areas, and infrastructure. We continue to work closely with staff, community organizations, and regional partners to balance economic opportunity with responsible stewardship of the community assets. Housing affordability and availability remain important issues throughout Vancouver Island and across the province. While we can't, as municipalities, solve this challenge alone, Council continues to support policies and initiatives that encourage appropriate housing while preserving the character and livability of our community. Recent public discourse has also highlighted the importance of respectful civil engagement. Healthy debate and differing opinions are essential components of democracy. However, productive community conversations must be grounded in facts, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to the well-being of our town. Council remains committed to transparency, accountability, and maintaining public confidence in local government institutions. I would like to recognize the outstanding work of town staff, our volunteer firefighters, emergency responders, public works crews, local organizations, and the many, many volunteers who contribute countless hours to strengthening our community. Their dedication often goes unnoticed, but plays a critical role in making Lake Cowichan the welcoming and resilient community we are proud to call home. As we look ahead to the summer months, council remains focused on moving important projects forward, advocating for our residents, and ensuring that Lake Cowichan continues to be a community where families, businesses, and visitors can thrive. Respectfully submitted by myself. Okay, it was in 14 pages. Thank you. And with that, notices of motion, I believe, Councillor Frisbee, you have one or two or four?
Yeah, I've got two. So one, just for the committee of the whole, we're approaching our first summer where our short-term rentals are no longer able to advertise on certain platforms. So I think it's important that we have a discussion on short-term rentals again. And then also I'd like to speak about, or have a discussion on Fern Road opening as well.
Thank you for that. I'll put those two down as both on the committee of the whole for July's meeting. You'll bring those forward then. Any others? Seeing none, question period. Anything on the agenda you wish to ask? Is the time to do that. And I did get threatened that someone was going to phone the number, so I'm going to read it out. 250-749-3239. 250-749-3239 for any questions on today's agenda. There is a phone in here. Okay, time's up. Yeah, probably. And with that, the reason for going in camera. Section 92 of the Community Charter requires that before a meeting or part of a meeting is closed to the public, that council must state by resolution that the meeting is to be closed, and B, that the basis of which the meeting is to be closed falls under the following section of the Community Charter. Section 91C, labor relations or other employee relations. 91D, the security of the property of the municipality. Would someone like to move that we go in camera? Moved by Councillor Austin, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. All in favor? Opposed? Take a short break. Thank you for attending tonight. Thank you, staff. Appreciate it.